Tonight on KION, a move to enhance facilities in Marina shut down, why city leaders are putting a potential measure on pause, and how this impacts the community. Plus, Chief Meteorologist Dan Cianca is tracking monsoonal moisture that continues to affect us here on the Central Coast. And the push for reproductive rights signed by the president, what the new executive order means for low-income women across the U.S. KION News starts right now.
KION News Channel 46 starts now with breaking news.
We begin with that breaking news tonight. Firefighters are on the scene after a structure fire broke out in Scotts Valley. Now, we just got word the fire has been put out and crews are cleaning up right now. Authorities say it was on the 100 block of Oak Creek Boulevard across from KION. Over in Marina, city leaders are putting the brakes on a measure originally intended to improve city infrastructure in public safety. Thanks for joining us on this Wednesday night. I'm Bill Aldrich. The city has decided not to put the general obligation bond on the ballot for the upcoming election in November. KION's Anna Ture is live at Marina City Hall tonight. And Anna, why did city leaders decide not to put this on the November ballot?
Phil, Marina city leaders did not want to rush the process. They wanted to get more input from the community, and the money from that GO bond measure would go towards upgrading city facilities like Marina City Hall behind me, but that also includes other facilities like here just across the parking lot. We also have the community center. Now, I spoke with Marina City Council member Christina Medina Dirksen, and she told KION that they want to make sure that people thoroughly understand what the bond is about and what Marina is growing. Council member Medina Dirksen also says places like City Hall need an upgrade.
We're talking money. We're talking, nobody likes new taxes. Nobody does, especially with the financial climate that we've been through with COVID and now with some uncertainty. I think everybody has to feel comfortable with how their money is being spent.
The general obligation bond is a 2/3 threshold, and we just want to be sure that the community was well aware of it and that we had the support that we needed to be able to hit that 2/3 threshold.
If council moves forward with the bond, there could be a special election next year, and part of the bond measure also includes public safety. Now, coming up at 6, I spoke with the Marina Fire Chief about how this could impact them. Reporting live in Marina, Anna Ture, KION News Channel 46.
Okay, thanks, Anna. The City Council directed staff to reach out to a communication agency to help with community engagement and messaging. New tonight, a Sereno gang member has pleaded guilty to 2 murders, including the death of a pregnant woman in King City back in 2021. That's according to the Monterey County District Attorney's Office. Authorities say 21-year-old Raul Lucas of Salinas drove to King City, where he and 3 other gang members shot and killed Carlos Lopez and his girlfriend, Selena Godoy. Godoy was pregnant at the time. Her baby died from that shooting. Lucas will spend 58 years to life in prison. One of the suspects in the same case is still on the loose tonight. Authorities have identified him as Alazar Ariano. A Salinas woman is in jail after police say she tried to kill another passenger while riding on a Monterey Salinas transit bus. Officers tell KION 3 passengers got into a fight around 6 this morning. They say 29-year-old Sarah Uresti and another woman assaulted a 35-year-old man. According to police, Uresti swung a knife at the man, cutting him on the hand, and the other woman punched him. Uresti is charged with attempted murder, among other charges. As for the other woman, she was detained and released, but police say they're filing an arrest warrant for battery charges. It's not known what led up to that argument. And we're on the fire watch tonight. Nearly 2,000 firefighters are still struggling to get a hold on the McKinney fire in Northern California. Thousands of people have been forced out of their homes, and authorities say 4 people have died because of this fire. One woman says the flames burned down her family home with her uncle still inside.
It was like crazy. I mean, I've never, ever experienced anything like that in my life. And ever, if anybody says you get warning to evacuate, you really listen and pay attention to it, because it comes so fast.
To take those warnings seriously, crews say increased fire activity is expected in the coming days as conditions get drier and hotter in Siskiyou County. The McKinney fire is still 0% contained after burning more than 57,000 acres. Now an update on the Washburn fire near Yosemite National Park. Crews are close to fully containing those flames. It's now at 97% containment. That fire has closed off several areas of the Yosemite Park for weeks. But here's more good news. The Mariposa Grove of giant sequoias, it reopened today. The Washburn fire has burned nearly 5,000 acres. Well, let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Dan Cianca for the first time. And Dan, it's still getting the effects of that monsoon down south, huh?
Yeah, really. We've been watching the monsoon moisture streaming to the state for the last couple of weeks at least. And unfortunately, that brings a lot of lightning to our mountains. But those are going to be coming up.
All right, see you in a bit. Thanks, Dan.
You bet.
The couple accused of killing a 9-month-old baby in Marina last May appeared in court today. Authorities believe Marcus Baring Hopkins and Tatiana Hale were taking care of little Noah Kai before they assaulted that baby, which eventually led to his death. Police say the couple was the child's godparents and they were close friends with the baby's mother. Hopkins and Hale pleaded not guilty in May. In Monterey County, 2 people, including a 15-year-old, have been arrested for viewing and downloading child pornography. That's according to the Soledad Police Department. Officers say detectives served 2 warrants today, with one leading to the arrest of the teenager. 31-year-old Victor Cabrera of Soledad was the other arrest. The teenager's case will be forwarded to the county juvenile department. And this is a live look at the White House tonight. The president is taking another step to securing abortion rights. He signed an executive order making it easier to travel and get an abortion. It also enforces non-discrimination laws for those who want to get that procedure. Natalie Brand breaks down the bill and tells us what's expected on the ballot for California voters.
During the first meeting of the White House Task Force on Reproductive Health Care, President Biden touted a new executive order to support patients traveling out of state for care.
I commit to the American people that we're doing everything in our power to safeguard access to health care, including the right to choose that women had under Roe v. Wade.
The executive order directs the Secretary of Health and Human Services to consider action to advance access to reproductive health care services, including through Medicaid, improve research on maternal health outcomes, and ensure health providers comply with federal law, which could include technical assistance for doctors who may be confused in the wake of the Supreme Court's decision to overturn Roe v. Wade as they navigate new state restrictions.
The president has again urged Congress to codify Roe v. Wade into federal law, pointing to Tuesday's vote in Kansas as an example of public sentiment towards abortion rights.
Crowds at this Kansas election night party erupted into cheers after learning voters had rejected a measure to remove abortion rights from the state's constitution.
This is a clear indication of where voters in Kansas are on this issue.
The group Kansans for Constitutional Freedom claimed victory in the historically red state during the first real test of abortion rights on the ballot since Roe was overturned.
Well, I wouldn't have voted that way if I were a Kansas voter. My guess is this won't be the last vote they take on it.
A similar measure to the one voted down in Kansas is on the ballot in Kentucky, while adding abortion protections to the state constitution are on the ballot in Vermont and California. Natalie Brandt, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Natalie, a recent CNN poll found 63% of Americans disapproved of the Supreme Court's decision to overturn Roe v. Wade. Now to monkeypox. In Los Angeles, people lined up for the vaccine as the outbreak continues to spread. There have been more than 6,300 reported cases across 48 states. On CBS Mornings, an infectious disease expert said the virus is primarily transmitted sexually, but not always. It could spread through contaminated bedding or towels. Well, it was the first day of school for several Central Coast districts, and today marks the first time many schools are starting the year without a mask requirement. These are just some of the kids returning to school today. The Monterey County Office of Education says the state is providing at-home test kits for families in the county. Right now, the only school in Monterey County enforcing a mask requirement is the Learning for Life Charter School, but that could change if cases increase at any point during the school year.
At any time, a school district could impose their own masking requirements or other requirements for health and safety reasons that they deem to be important.
MCOE says if it's 650 staff members, only 80 remain unaffected. or unvaccinated, pardon me. Those people are required to undergo weekly testing. Santa Cruz County Office of Education says out of all of the county school employees, about 90% are fully vaccinated. Pacific Grove is trying to increase affordable housing in the city. Tonight, the staff will discuss a potential state Project Home Key application. It would give funding to make room to house the homeless. City staff say it expects another round of funding to be released in fall. And if it's released, that program would give a substantial subsidy to provide units for those in need of affordable housing. We'll have updates on the meeting tonight on KION News Channel 46 at 11. And coming up, remembering a sports broadcasting legend. When we return, we'll take a look back at some of Vin Scully's most memorable moments on and off the field. And a young boy from King City takes the stage with a popular Mexican band here in California. We'll hear from the boy and his parents on that special moment. But up next, we're going to bring Dan back as we take a look from Mount Toro. He'll have his full forecast. He'll do that in 2 minutes. Conversation with meteorologist Dan Cianca, and tourists and natives alike are enjoying this very pleasant weather around the Central Coast.
Yeah, the temperatures have been a little warmer than normal for this time of year. We've had a little less in the way of those pesky low clouds. Here's a live look from Domenico's on the wharf. You're seeing some sunshine right now. Seasonable to slightly cool temperatures through the weekend, Phil.
All right, thanks, Dan. In the City of Angels, flowers, gifts, and messages sit outside Dodger Stadium tonight to honor the legendary broadcaster Vin Scully. The Bronx native spent 67 years calling Dodgers games, going all the way back to when they played in Brooklyn. He died last night at his home in Los Angeles at the age of 94. Lee Cowan looks back at Scully's life, his work, and his deep connection to the sport he loved.
It's time for Dodger baseball.
You didn't have to watch a baseball game as long as Vin Scully was announcing.
Fernando Valenzuela has pitched a no-hitter.
His words could paint a portrait as bright as the outfield.
What a marvelous moment for the country and the world. A black man is getting a standing ovation in the Deep South.
Vin Scully wasn't only the voice of baseball, he was the heart of it too.
In a year that has been so improbable, the impossible has happened.
I have no idea where that came from. And that's the fun of it, if you get a good one off once in a while.
He got more than a few good ones off ever since starting with the Dodgers back in 1950, when they were still the Brooklyn Dodgers.
It's been a sport that I've loved ever since I could throw a ball.
For Vin, as his fans called him, announcing wasn't just about plays and statistics. It was about the simple beauty of America's pastime.
When you sit here and look out at 7, 8 o'clock sunset time, and you can see the mountains, oh my gosh, it's so beautiful.
In his last interview with us a few years after he retired, Vin Scully reflected on a career that had lasted nearly 70 years. And he did what he always did. He put the impossible into perfect perspective.
Even if I live to be 100, that's only a couple of years from now. Where I am is where I belong, quiet, peaceful, and at home, far from the madding crowd.
Well, the Dodgers organization released a statement on the passing of Vin Scully. The president and CEO, Stan Kasten, said in part, quote, "His voice will always be heard and etched in all of our minds forever. I know he was looking forward to joining the love of his life, Sandy. Vin will be truly missed." We have an update to that breaking news we brought you at the top of the newscast in Scotts Valley. Oak Creek Boulevard is now closed just north of Quien Sabe. Firefighters are on the scene after a structure fire broke out there in Scotts Valley. And we just got word that fire has been put out and crews are cleaning it up. But we had that road closure. That's the new information. Authorities say it was on the 100 block of Oak Creek Boulevard. Well, the community is mourning the death of Salinas native and activist Sylvia Camacho Huerta. She fought for farm worker rights alongside Cesar Chavez. Huerta died on July 23rd after a long battle with cancer. Her family is now in Mexico, where Huerta now rests. Luis Alejo shared their condolences on social media, and members of the community, including her co-worker, Maricela Zuniga, paid their respects at a memorial service.
I began to know Ms. Silvia Huerta from the beginning of the large strike in 1979 here in the Imperial Valley in Salinas. Then they were very young and I was very young, and that is when I began to watch her with all her activities to fight for all that they were achieving here.
People at the memorial say there is a great need for more activists like Mrs. Huerta. Well, over the weekend, a young boy from King City had the opportunity to play with a popular Mexican band here on the Central Coast. Melanie Waintal spoke with a family who shared this once-in-a-lifetime story.
At just 10 years old, Juan Aguilar had the opportunity of a lifetime to play accordion with none other than Los Tigres del Norte. Los Tigres del Norte won 6 Grammys and are currently touring the States. On Saturday, they made a stop on the Central Coast in Paso Robles.
I was excited and nervous.
Juan came prepared with his accordion to play with the iconic band, but
it wasn't happening, so I told him, you know what, it doesn't look like it's going to happen. Do you just want to take a picture up close at stage? And he said, yes, I'm good with that. Jorge just seen him play, and he just pointed out to him, and he just told him, come back around and see us over here.
And they start playing the song.
I wasn't expecting it, but when I saw my son up there, it was very shocked, emotional, excited. Los Tigres del Norte is one of our favorite bands.
Juan loved music since he was a little boy, especially when he saw his father and older brothers play together.
We would just play with his grandpa. His brother also would be playing, and he wanted to be some sort of attention. So he started playing with his toy accordion, just making noises. And little by little, by himself, he started just playing.
Almost everyone in Juan's family are musicians. And the tradition started with Gabriel's dad, who loved to play the accordion at family parties.
¿Ese era tu padre?
Yes.
And even though he's no longer with us, his legacy goes on with their music. In King City, I'm Melody Waintal with KION News Channel 46.
Great story. Thanks, Melody. Well, a new theater company is making its debut with Macbeth on the Central Coast. It's a Shakespearean tragedy about a Scottish general consumed by ambition with the prophecy he will one day become the King of Scotland. New Cannon Theater says it's been preparing for this performance since the pandemic, and the co-founder says Macbeth has so many parallels to life today. Well, when we come back, a Central Coast High School is celebrating the new school year with mariachi music. You're going to want to hear this. We'll be right back. What a way to start the new school year with a mariachi band. That's how students at North Salinas High School are greeted this morning. Outstanding. You don't see that every day, do you, Dan?
That'll get you pumped up, getting ready to learn, have some good music to listen to on the way in the door.
Yeah, well, tonight, nice night to maybe take the dog out for a walk, maybe skim some rocks off the ocean waves or something.
Sure. I mean, here's a live look from Carmel. You're socked in there for sure in some fog, but it's sunny in Santa Cruz. It's sunny at Del Monte Beach as well in Monterey, but some areas a little cloudy tonight. Those clouds will slowly thicken and fill in around the bay this evening, but for the most part, expecting mild temperatures in the 60s. Your sunset right around 8:11 or 8:10 p.m. tonight.
Dan, I've also been told that people walk cats on leashes. I've actually seen that happen.
Yep.
Well, that's going to do it for Dan and I. We'll see you in 30 minutes for KION at 6.